Hi everyone, today I'll be showing you how I make my birria con consomme. So if you're interested and want to know the recipe, just keep watching. So the first thing you're going to need is to get a roast. This is a chuck roast and it is boneless. So then you'll take your roast out of the package that it came in and break it down into chunks. On this size of a roast, I cut it into 6 pieces and then put it back on the tray. And after you get all your pieces cut, you're going to go ahead and season it really well with salt and pepper. That's all I season it with right before I sear it. We'll add the rest of the seasonings or ingredients into the pot. And I'm going to be using my pressure cooker today to cook my meat, only because it cooks in half the time as it would take to cook it on the stove. But that is also an option that you can do. You just put your meat into the hot oil and brown it on each side. It's not going to cook it through. It's just to sear the outside. And then you'll do that to all your pieces of meat. Flip them over. And you can cook them or sear them in batches if you need to. If your pot's big enough, you can cook it all at once. My pressure cooker is a 6-quart, so I was only able to do 4 at a time and then put them on the plate and then finish the last 2. And as soon as you're done browning all of your meat, you can go ahead and add it all back to your pot and start adding the ingredients. You're going to need a whole onion and a tablespoon of beef bouillon, 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, 2 small bay leaves or 1 large bay leaf if you have it, and then 3 cups of water. I'm going to set my pressure cooker for an hour. That should be plenty of time to make the meat really tender. If you're cooking it on the stove, it's probably going to take double that time. I love my pressure cooker and I definitely recommend it if you don't have one. Also, I did forget to mention that while your meat is cooking, go ahead and get your chiles ready. I used 8 guajillo chilies, 2 chile anchos, and 3 chile de árbol. You need to remove the stems and the seeds and rinse them well, and then get them in a pot to boil, and then move them to a simmer for about 30 minutes. And once your chiles are ready, you'll go ahead and strain them and just reserve about 1/4 of a cup or so to help blend them easier, either in the blender or in a food processor like I'm using. And then I like to remove the onion from the meat that I cooked and add that to the chiles for more flavor. And then also about a pinch or so of salt before I blend them. Once the chiles are blended, we're going to pass it through a fine mesh strainer. Remember to catch all the puree in the bottom, and then we're going to fry it on the stove in a little bit of oil. So you'll need your pan at about a medium-high heat, and we're going to bring the chile puree up to a simmer. And while you're waiting, you can chop up your onions and cilantro. After, go ahead and move your meat over to your pan with your puree, and you can use the spoon to break down the meat. It's very tender at this point. And also we're going to move all of the broth that the meat was cooking in as well into the chile puree. And after everything's been simmering for about 10 minutes, go ahead and give it a mix, and it is done, you guys. You can get your tortillas and dip them into the broth and then fry them in your pan with a little bit of oil. This is really hot, so don't use your hand like me. Use a spatula or something. But you do want to fry them on one side and then flip them over again before you add the cheese into the middle. And you can add as much fillings as you want to. And now I'm just going to flip over the other one and then add the cheese right to the center too. Then we'll take some of the meat and put it right on top of the cheese, and everything's gonna melt together nicely. Add some of that broth as well. That's what's gonna give it that red color like you see in the pictures, and it's gonna make everything just so gooey and delicious. You're gonna love it, you guys. So everything's all melted, so we're going to fold them over. And you guys, look. Oh my god, they're so good. I really hope y'all give this recipe a try. And let me know what you think. And once they're done frying on both sides, and they're nice and crispy, go ahead and move them to a plate and just fry up as many more as you need for your family or for yourself. I'm not judging. For the consomme, get a couple scoops of the broth, add some cilantro and onion as much as you like, and don't forget the lime. I forgot to picture it, but oh my god, it is a game changer, you guys. Don't skip out on the lime. And check out that cheese pool. And that's how I make my birria tacos. I hope y'all enjoy. It's just my recipe, like I said. I'm not saying this is how it's supposed to be made. This is just the way I make it. So if you enjoy, just let me know. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks. Bye.